children of Israel were black people. The complete documentary with evidence from the Bible and history. As you begin researching the black presence in the Bible, without any European bias, it becomes quite evident that all Bible characters have been whitewashed. Obviously, the sole purpose of changing Bible characters has been the elimination of black people from their rightful place in history. This act was prophesied long ago in the Bible. 1 Maccabees chapter 3, verse 48, from the Apocrypha in the 1611 King James Bible. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. This is just a brief account by the Maccabees of how the heathen used the Torah, also known as the 5 books of Moses, to paint Bible characters in the likeness of their images. This is the main reason why the Protestant churches, known in the Bible as the daughters of the Roman Catholic Church, have removed a set of books, originally called the Apocrypha, from today's King James Bibles. The Apocrypha books are in the original 1611 King James Bible as part of Scripture. Psalms chapter 2. Verse 1 to verse 3. Why do the heathen rage, and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together, against the Lord, and against his anointed, saying, Let us break their bands asunder, and cast away their cords from us. The Gentile nations have always been against the true nation of Israel, from the word go. Even during the days of King David, there was a conspiracy among the heathens to destroy the Israelites, and make an end of them. At that early stage in history, the conspiracy was already conceived by the Gentiles. By so doing, they set out to fight the God of the Israelites, because God has always wanted the nation of Israel to be above all the other nations of the earth. Psalms chapter 83. Verse 1 to verse 8. Keep not thou silence, O God, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For, lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them, they have holpen the children of Lot Selah. The chief plotters of this conspiracy to hide the identity of the real children of Israel, and prevent them from being a nation again, thereby blotting the name of true Israel out of remembrance, are the tabernacles of Edom, which are simply the Europeans, the Ishmaelites, or the simply Arabs, Moab, most likely the Chinese and the Koreans, the Hagarenes, mostly North Africans, Gebal, a portion of the fake Jews, Ammon, most likely the Japanese, Amalek, the fake Jews in Israel today, Philistines, the Palestinians, and Assur, people from the Middle East. The whole world is united under one banner to hide the identity of the real Israelites. They have been conspiring, since the days of King David, to hide the real skin color of the children of Israel and where the majority of them are living today. The fake European Jews, living in Israel today, are the ones heading this conspiracy, and they have been spreading it throughout the world. Most of them have come out, and admitted to the world that they are not the real descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. History as we know it today, has been whitewashed by these nations, against the Israelites of the Bible. The whitewashing of history, including all Bible characters, comes from the hardcore culture of racism and heathen supremacy, especially among the Europeans. Sadly, people conduct Bible studies with this bias, hence the truth is hidden from them. It is often difficult for most people to see blacks in the Bible, because they will not read the terms Africans or Negroes, but they will read the terms Egyptians, Ethiopians, Canaanites, Libyans, Hebrews, or other national terms. There are many references to nations established by people of color in the Bible, but very few for European nations. The continent of Africa is the most mentioned landmass in the Bible. The land of Canaan is mentioned in the Bible, about 2,657 times. Ham is the father of Canaan, and Bible scholars agree that the descendants of Ham are black. Egypt is mentioned 731 times, ancient Egyptians were black. Babylon is mentioned 288 times, ancient Babylonians were a Cushite or an Ethiopian people. Ethiopia is mentioned 45 times, and Cush, or Cushites 8 times, while Pathros in Egypt is mentioned 5 times. Everyone knows that the Ethiopians, anciently called Cushites, are black. North Africa and Northeast Africa, now presently the Middle East, were linked by a steep of land called the Sinai Peninsula. The completion of the Suez Canal on November 17, 1869 severed the physical link that connected North Africa and Northeast Africa. The final separation came in World War II, when the war correspondents coined the term Middle East to describe Northeast Africa, a region that now encompasses Israel, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Yemen, Kuwait, Bahrain, Iraq, the United Arab Emirates, and Qatar. For the majority of modern history, the so-called Middle East was called Northeast Africa, and to this day it is still considered by some scholars to be Northeast Africa. The biblical scenes as shown by the Roman catacombs painted by persecuted Christians in the 1st and 2nd century clearly show black people. These Roman Christians painted Bible characters black, and not white as depicted by Hollywood in their movies. What these early Christians knew and accepted as true, is today deemed unbelievable, because of the lies concerning the true identity of the Hebrews in the Bible. As you dig deeper into the Bible, you will subsequently realize that it was written by black people who were inspired by God, as an instruction manual to the nation of Israel and then to the world at large. Some people after discovering this truth would say that, color does not matter, and we do not have to study black presence in the Bible. But the question is, if color does not matter, then why is Jesus depicted as a white man with blonde hair, and blue eyes? Why did white people destroy early pictures of black saints, black Bible characters, and black Madonnas? Why did white people go far as trying to change history about the real Hebrews? Some will say these things were destroyed to protect the masses from idolatry, but this was not the case, because these items were replaced with icons, photos of white saints, and white Bible characters. Knowing the truth about black people in the Bible, will lead many people to start talking about racial justice, and look at the Bible as an Afrocentric book, not a white man's book. Many black people have been kept from knowing the truth about God, and His chosen people, because they have been taught since childhood, that the Bible is a white man's book. White people have prevented future generations of blacks from knowing the truth about the Bible, by whitewashing all Bible characters. It is very important for every black person to know that black people have always played a primary role in the plans of God for the world. From time immemorial, black people have been taught history through a European influence. This has adversely affected the way blacks view themselves and influenced the shaping of their belief systems. It has also caused other races in the world to develop stereotypes against the black race. The negation of the history and intellectual accomplishments of black Africans was cultural, mental murder, which preceded and paved the way for their genocide here and there in the world, civilization or barbarism, an authentic anthropology. Throughout this presentation, we will prove to you beyond any reasonable doubt, using the Bible, and history, that the chosen sons of God from Adam to Noah down to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob through to the 12 tribes of Israel were, all black people. We will expose the lies we have been fed for so long, and uncover the truth concerning the true identity of the Bantu people, all throughout the world. After knowing the truth about the real identity of the Hebrews of the Bible, we will correlate it to how it has affected, and is still affecting black people throughout the world. Surely there must be a real reason as to why blacks have been suffering for what seems to be eternity. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification button to be notified when we upload a new video.